Hi there, it's Sherry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, um, basically, my this video is about my grief journey. I have several videos up on YouTube called My Grief Journey, and they start my grief journey #1 and so forth. Um, and I am not a professional by any means. This is just my journey. My husband passed away in 2024, and so it's this is just me telling you my story. And I would invite you to go back and look at some of my first videos. It's my grief journey #1. And it just tells a little bit more. And I just don't want to repeat the whole thing. But again, welcome. And if you do like the content, give me a thumbs up. Comment if you would like. And subscribe. Definitely subscribe so you'll see more. Okay? And if you are somebody who follows me, welcome, welcome. And as you know, anybody that's been following me knows I tell my ups and my downs. I tell everything that's going on with me, whether it be related to grief or not. So, that being said, I want to tell you what has been going on last night into today. Well, first thing, sorry, I was looking at okay. First thing I want to say is, as you know, or I mentioned in another video, that I was going to put in a new kitchen faucet. And, well, I bought the faucet, and my goodness gracious, I have come into so many problems. And basically, it wasn't just as easy as just replacing the faucet. A lot of the plumbing underneath had to be replaced, and that's where I ran into some problems. And I had to get two water shutoff valves, one for the hot and one for the cold. And, well, I didn't know anything about that. I mean, I watched videos on how to do it, so I felt certain I could do it. And I did. I was able to do it. My problem was I bought something called, and if you know anything about plumbing, I'm sure you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't know. They're called shark bites. And they're supposed to go onto the pipe and kind of bite it, so to speak, kind of clamp on. And it's supposed to be where you don't need any glue, any of the PVC cement and all that. Well, I bought 2 of those, and I'm going to tell you, and it could be user error. I could have done something wrong in installing them. I mean, I don't know what I could have done wrong. They're pretty simple. You push them on. But anyway, they both leaked. Both of them. And then I also had another problem. Then I even bought, there's a special tool you have to buy to take them off. And you can't just pull them off. There's a special tool to take them off. I could not get them off. Couldn't get them off. And this all was happening last night. And on top of that, it got really cold here. I'm in Texas. I know y'all that aren't in Texas are gonna say, "Oh, it gets cold in Texas." It does, and it got down to 18 last night. Well, and here I am having to turn the water off because I got a leak, but yet I need the water running so my pipes won't bust. And it was just a horrible night. And, turning the water back on, and anyway, the water's off right now. It's been off since in the morning. I mean, I stayed up late, so it was probably 3:30, and so anyway, and it worried me because it got so cold. I have not found anything broke, any pipes busted. And I did go up under the house today too. That's another thing. I crawled up under there looking for any signs of wetness where a pipe has busted or something. I didn't find any. So that's good. So we'll see for certain once I turn the water back on. But I can't turn the water back on because, let me go back to what I told you, those two leaked, those two fittings. So I went to Home Depot today and I bought two more water shutoff valves, but I did not buy the shark bite. I didn't want them. I wanted to know. I bought the normal old fashioned kind where you put that cement, that PVC cement. Actually, I have CPVC, but regardless. But you put that cement on where it's going, and then on the inside of it, and you put it on there and let it dry. And that's what it's doing now, is drying while I'm making this video. But I felt way more comfortable with that, because the other one, if it's not getting the good seal, it leaks. So anyhow, I put one of those on. When I'm done with this video, I'm going to put another one on. And then I'm just going to, I'm waiting on, I'm waiting on Amazon, because I ordered something. This is another problem. This has been nothing but problems. The actual faucet at the top, it's got those they're plastic nuts. They won't come off. So I had to buy a special tool to take them off. Hopefully it will work better than that special tool I bought for the shark bite, because it wouldn't take those off. I had to cut the pipe to get that off. But I know it's been crazy. It made me do two things. It made me spiral a little bit, but I couldn't do it too bad because I had to get stuff done. But yet I sat there and cried. And I said, because I'm all alone, because I'm trying to do something that I really don't know how to do, and I'm just trying to learn how to do it. And it was at times like that when I was having trouble and nothing was going right. This when I was really missing my husband and saying, I wished he was here. And I also felt like he's looking down at me saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? He was real big on hire somebody to do it. That was his thing. If you don't know how to do it, just hire somebody to do it. Well, I'm cheap. And I don't, you know how much a plumber costs? Oh my God. And so, honestly, what I was doing should have been an easy thing. But like I was saying, those nuts they won't come off. They're they're stuck. And so I bought the tool to get it removed through Amazon. And I didn't know I was going to Home Depot today, or I would have bought it there. But anyway, so now I'm waiting on them. Hopefully it will work. And because once I take those nuts off, then I can take the old faucet out and put the new one in. But it has made me know something. I've talked about I want to do new countertops and thinking I'm Superwoman and I'm going to do it by myself. No, it ain't happening. I can already tell you, this experience has made me know my limits. There's, things I can and can't do. And I don't really I could do plumbing somewhat, but I don't really like it. But I like it better than electrical. Because I did some electrical. It was actually before my husband passed. He was still sick, but he helped me a little bit. But I basically changed out an outlet. Just took the outlet out and, put in a new one. That had to be done because the whole front of the outlet looked burnt, like, and so, yeah, I wasn't gonna, that's scary. That's like, oh, that could have burned my house down. But anyway, that had to be done. And, but my point in saying all that, I don't like electrical at all. I've done so many things I never thought I could do. So many. But anyhow, so that's how my weekend off has been so far. And now I have some other thing, I'm supposed to take a trip in March. I'm supposed to go on a bus tour. And I think I'm going to cancel it. For financial reasons, I've decided that I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take one in like September. That'll give me a good part of the year to save up for it and not be like right now I'm just being bombarded with trying to pay it and I have other things I need to pay. So I've just decided I'm probably not going to do it, and I'm sure it's going to be disappointing to my friend who was going to go, but I was talking to another friend just a minute ago, and she wants to go to the Grand Canyon in September. I said, well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go to the Grand Canyon. So anyway, I think I'm going to cut these trips down, though. I had planned on doing 3 this year, but I think I'm going to do 1, and towards the end of the year. So it'll give me time to save up the money for it and stuff like that. But I got too much going on at the house that I don't think I'm going to take it right now. I may take some time off and stay at home and do some things I need to be done here, but going out of town I probably won't do. But that being said, now I have said those trips are fun. Those bus tours are fun, and I will definitely do them more, but I'm canceling this one. You kind of know when you're spending more than you should. When you're spending more than you got, it's like, okay, I need to take a step back and not do that. But anyway, I wanted to definitely, though, just get on here and tell you what's going on with me. And when I said I got upset and missed my husband and everything, I did. However, I got out of it mainly because I had to, because if I didn't do something, I was going to have water going everywhere. So I had to get it where it wasn't leaking, and and it's been difficult. And like I said, I'm sure he's looking down at me saying, Sherry, why are you doing that? Why are you doing all that? You should have just hired somebody. I could hear him now. You should have just hired somebody. But I don't mind learning new things, and I'm really, really bad about, I just won't ask for help. I will not ask for help. In fact, this is funny. I went to Home Depot, I bought what I needed, and I bought that cement, the PVC cement, whatever it's called. And you got a purple primer and then the cement. Well, anyway, they come in the little jars, little cans. Well, got them home. I couldn't open them. Could not open them. I was like, I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to open these things. Again, I jump on YouTube. I said, how do you open these? They won't open. And the videos I seen, everybody was saying, you need channel locks. Channel locks will open them. I didn't have channel locks. And I didn't want to just go buy channel locks just to open the can. So I called my stepson, and I went and borrowed his channel locks so I could open that can. And my point in saying that, I went over there and borrowed that instead of asking him, Micah, can you come help me do this? I just didn't do it. He knew what I was doing. I told him what I was doing. He didn't offer to help, so I'm not going to ask. If he would have offered, I might have said, okay, you can come help me. But, he didn't. So you know, he's busy. I know he is. So he just got home. He worked all day, and he's working tomorrow, the holiday. He's working. So, you know. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm really bad about not asking for help. Um and as I mentioned in a previous video, at the very, very beginning, you get a lot of people calling you and everything, and that stops. That stops, and people just think you're okay. So, and that's like me doing things. My stepson told me, "You're just the strongest person I've ever met." And I think to myself, I don't say nothing. I think to myself, if you could only see me when I'm at home by myself crying my eyes out. I'm not the strongest person that he knows. You know, I just I stay at home. I do my crying at home. But what do I always say? I'm going to say my 3 things because this video is getting longer than I wanted. It is okay to not be okay. And Lord, I have not been okay today or yesterday. And I'm not just talking about tears. I'm talking about everything going wrong. Anything that could possibly have gone wrong yesterday was going wrong. Even the temperature. Temperature had to get down to 18 degrees. And it's like 60 something today. It's like only in Texas we can go through all 4 seasons in one day. But if you're somebody from Texas, you know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, the other thing I definitely like to always say is grief is a journey. It never ends. It is a journey that changes, but it never ends. And so, and there, there's definitely always going to be triggers that trigger us. Things that make you sad, things that make, like songs, certain movies, certain places that you and your spouse liked, if it's a spouse that you lost. But food as well, smells, certain food. And today, when I was at the store, well, I had went to Home Depot, and on the way home, I remembered something that I needed. Well, on the way home through the town I live in is a smaller town, but they have a little hometown plumbing supply or something. I don't remember what it's called, but I just pulled in there. Well, when I pulled in, there was a food truck there, selling something that they'd made, and I was like, wonder what that is. And I got out and I saw it had a big old sign, barbecue, and it smelled really, really good, and it just brought a tear to my eye immediately, because my husband, he liked barbecue. And I can remember many times going in get groceries or whatever, and I'd stop and get him a barbecue sandwich and bring home to him. And as soon as I saw that place, I went, oh, he would have loved that. He would have loved it, and I would have brought him a sandwich. But things like that are always going to be there. They're all, things are going to always trigger you. And then there's also times where, and I know that you know this, if you're somebody who's grieving someone, you know this. There are times when you cry for no reason at all. You can just be driving or walking or whatever, and all of a sudden the tears will come. And you're like, why am I crying? And it's, it just is there. It's there. It's something that we're always going to have to live with, and we're trying to live with it, trying to figure out how to continue our life without the person that we love. So like I said, though, as far as that, grief never ends. It's always going to be there in some shape, some way. And, but the positive on that is love never dies. The love never dies. It's still there. You still love them and they still love you. That love is still there. And so love, love never dies. And before I end this video, though, I just want to also tell you to try to think of something positive that you've done today or you're going to be doing that is a positive. Think of at least one positive for the day. For me, I'll be honest, that's really hard for me today to think of a positive because everything has gone wrong. There's like nothing that has gone right. So if I had to say a positive today, I would probably say that when I went to Home Depot, I was able to find the exact plumbing parts that I was looking for. So that was positive. So I'm getting it all done now. And also, right along with that, count your blessings. Count your blessings. It's so easy to focus on what we've lost and what we don't have and the loneliness and all of that and not think about what we do have. And again, as far as blessings, I said it got cold here last night. At least I had a roof over my head. Thank God for that. I had a roof over my head. My house was nice and warm. And, sadly, there are people that living on the streets. So I do want to count my blessings then. I want to, when I say count your blessings, I always say no matter how big or how small. Because just having a roof over your head is a blessing. Food in your stomach is a blessing. That's one thing, I have never in my life ever gone hungry. And what I mean by that is not just saying I'm hungry, but I mean, I've never been to the point of where I was hungry and I didn't have some, and I could not eat. I didn't have the money to eat. And so I thank God for that. There's people out there that have to go to food banks, that have to, and don't get me wrong, I'm not rich by any means, but I've never been hungry. I've never been starving, put it that way. I've never been starving. And and I thank God for that. That's a blessing. That is definitely a blessing. So that's why I said, no matter how big or how small, it's still a blessing. And, if you really start thinking about your blessings, you can think of a lot of things. Probably my biggest blessing, and I'm going to try not to cry when I say it. Although I get sad because my husband died, and because I'm alone, and I sometimes have said why. But even when I say why, I always stop myself and I say, I know why. He was sick. He was sick, and God took him, and God took him out of his pain. So God helped him. He got him out of that pain. That had he left him here on earth, he would have just suffered more and more and more. And and I know that. In my head, I know that. But one of my blessings, though, is although I'm sad that I've lost him, it is definitely a blessing that I, even got to know him, that I was married to him for 36 years. It is a blessing that he was in my life. And that's my biggest blessing. And now that I've started tearing up, it's grief. It comes, but anyway, so I'm going to end this video. It has gotten definitely longer than I had intended, but that's, anybody that watches my videos knows that's me. I go to rambling and talking. I don't have anybody else to talk to, so I live alone, so you get to listen to me. Anyway, I hope everybody has a very blessed day, and I will talk to you in a couple days. Bye bye.